Hello, my name is Sylvia Moore-Myers, and today is December 7th, 2024. I'm honored to share my plan for growth in interpersonal communication. This is HSCO 508 Interpersonal Communication course at Liberty University. So, who am I? Well, I'm a mother of three wonderful sons and a proud grandmother, Gigi, of two lovely grandchildren. And I have a daughter-in-law that we all love. My patient husband and I run a small real estate company and a small farm here in Georgia. But beyond that, I'm an advanced grief recovery specialist, a coach, a speaker, and a published author on the subjects of grief recovery and late diagnosed autism. My journey as a grief recovery specialist began after the tragic murder of my teenage son. That devastating loss led me to explore the path to healing, both for myself and then for others. In fact, that journey to healing is why I'm here today. Taking this course, learning how to listen, speak, and communicate the message of healing to others. As a late diagnosed autistic person, God has given me a unique perspective on the challenges and triumphs of navigating relationships and communication. As I prepare to graduate from Liberty University this coming May with a degree in human services counseling, my plans are to focus on counseling late diagnosed autistic adults and continuing my growth in the fields of grief, loss, and trauma so that I can better assist my clients on their healing journeys. I also hope to work with trauma teams in natural disasters like Rubicon, where I'm already a member. So, what is interpersonal communication? At its core, it's the process of exchanging information, feelings, and meanings between people, both verbally and non-verbally. That's Schultz and Bedinsky. It's not just words, it's building connections, fostering understanding, and creating meaningful relationships. Like active listening, which Peterson 2022 described as requiring undivided attention, or nonverbal communication, including body language and tone of voice, or emotional intelligence, where we manage emotions effectively during communication, Kern-Kogel et al., 2016. And conflict resolution, a skill that relies on integrating all of these elements. And in this presentation, I'll focus on three key points. First, number one, understanding my personality through DISC, how my DC blend shapes my communication style and challenges. Number two, navigating autism and communication barriers, overcoming challenges like masking, nonverbal misinterpretation, and sensory overload. Number three, strategies for growth and connection using empathy, active listening, and tools like Peterson's listening and talker cards to strengthen relationships. DISC categorizes personality into four traits: dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness. My assessment revealed a unique DC blend, showing that I'm highly task-oriented, driven, and precise. You want me to do your taxes, but I want you to have it all in order before you get to my door. Carbonell 2008 explains that DC personalities like me thrive on results. We are natural leaders and problem solvers, but we overlook the rational aspects of communication. And what makes my DISC profile unique is how I'm expected to behave aligns exactly with who I am naturally. This leads me to ask, where does masking fit into my DC autism identity? Being autistic has shaped my communication journey in a profound way. One major challenge is masking, where, as Cummins 2020 explained, I suppress my natural behaviors to meet social expectations. While masking helps me adapt, it's emotionally exhausting. For instance, I struggle with small talk and sensory sensitivities, which often leads to feelings of isolation in large group settings. In other words, I often end up sitting alone in a corner, happily working on my laptop in a room full of chatting people. On stage, I can talk and teach and train all day, but in the chattering crowd, I struggle. Schultz and Basinski 2020 emphasize aligning verbal and nonverbal cues in effective communication. But as an autistic individual, I misinterpret body language and I find sustained eye contact a bit overwhelming. These barriers require intentional strategies to overcome. Through this course, I've identified several barriers in my communication. Silver and Parsons 2022 point out that small talk often feels socially overwhelming and unfocused. When I misread body language or tone, it can unintentionally signal that I'm disinterested when in fact it's the opposite. And avoiding eye contact, highlighted by Cummings, can make me appear like I'm disengaged when actually I'm totally engaged. Masking to meet social expectations, as Cummings told us, is emotionally exhausting, and it disconnects me from my authentic self. It's just not me. The misalignment between my verbal and nonverbal communication reduces trust. That's a challenge emphasized by Schultz and Basinski. Finally, while efficient, my very direct style of communication can come across as blunt and even intimidating, as Carbonell explained. Recognizing these barriers is the first step, isn't it? Now, my personal goal is to create meaningful relationships by becoming a more empathetic and intentional communicator. This goal is vital because it aligns with both my personal growth and my professional aspirations to help autistic adults. And as a grief and trauma recovery specialist, I also hope to assist individuals and communities impacted by natural disasters. To achieve this, I've developed several strategies. I can prepare for small talk. Really, Silver and Parson encourage organizing my thoughts in advance to help me communicate clearly later. I can build empathy by learning to paraphrase and reflect emotions. Kern Kogel. Leveraging the listener talker cards, which I love, can help. And I can improve nonverbal communication, says Schultz and Basinski, by practicing eye contact and intentional gestures. Frank and Weichel 2020 emphasized the importance of learning to build rapport. So how am I going to turn my plan into actions? Well, first, I will practice small talk daily, talking to people, as Silver and Parsons 2022 said. And practicing small talk is going to help me bridge gaps for those who find it challenging, like myself. I'll use Peterson's listening talker cards. Can't wait to use these on my family to create mindful listening and trust and build that trust back and forth in conversations. And I'll work on empathy training set out by Kern Kogel, including paraphrasing emotions and validating feelings. And I'll track all of my nonverbal progress. Cummins 2020 recommends setting weekly goals for maintaining consistent eye contact and aligning gestures with tone to enhance communication. To build rapport, I'll practice reflective listening, as outlined by Frank and Weichel 2020, by paraphrasing and reflecting on what others share. My journey in communication reflects the importance of self-awareness, empathy, and practice. Tools like the DISC model, which I love, the listener talker cards, balancing empathy with boundaries, and training have been instrumental. Most importantly, I've learned that communication isn't about words. It's about connection. So let me leave you with this. John 1:1 and Genesis 1:1. John says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Jesus, the actual Word of God, embodies perfect communication, a gift from God meant to connect, create, and heal. And from the very start of creation, God used his word to bring life and order. As in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, Genesis 1:1. Communication is not only a tool, but a reflection of God's love and his intent for us to build meaningful relationships. As I strive to grow in my communication skills, I hold on to a truth that every word has the power to connect us to God and to each other. Thank you very much.